Chapter 3. I can't help you. The students in the classroom followed Tang Xiaoru's gaze, directing their attention to the corner where Fang Yu was seated. Naturally, their eyes landed on He Donglin, who was sitting in front of Fang Yu. He Donglin, the most popular boy in Class 2, Grade 12, was known for his handsome looks and wealthy family background. He was the crush of many girls in the class. Could it be that Tang Xiaoru transferred to this class because of He Donglin? He Donglin, it seems like the Tang family's eldest daughter is here for you, whispered Hu Dao, He Donglin's deskmate, nudging him with his elbow. He Donglin was equally puzzled. Back in their first year of high school, he had tried to pursue Tang Xiaoru, only to be warned off by people sent from her family, before he even got a chance to speak to her. From that moment on, He Donglin knew Tang Xiaoru was someone far beyond his reach. But now, they were in their final year, about to graduate, and she had come looking for him. Could it be that Tang Xiaoru had secretly liked him all this time? This thought made He Donglin sit up straight, instinctively fixing his hair. His heart raced with excitement, though he maintained a composed and indifferent expression on the surface. The other students' attention was entirely focused on Tang Xiaoru and He Dong. As for Fang Yu and Lu Dong, they were entirely overlooked. One was a chubby homebody, and the other a socially distant loner. How could either of them possibly attract the goddess Tang Xiaoru? Damn, another flower wasted on He Donglin. Look, if only I were as rich and handsome as He Donglin. Tang Xiaoru is my goddess. How could she like someone else? The boys in the class were filled with a mix of envy and jealousy. The homeroom teacher, Huang Hai, looked kindly at Tang Xiaoru and asked, Tang Xiaoru, would you like to sit with He Donglin? Tang Xiaoru said nothing, but walked down from the podium toward Fang Yu's seat. He Donglin's heart pounded as he tried to think of what his opening line should be. Tang Xiaoru got closer and closer. He Donglin curled his lips into a gentle, sunny smile, just as he prepared to speak. But to his shock, Tang Xiaoru didn't stop next to him. Instead, she walked past him and stood behind him. Teacher, I'd like to sit with Fang Yu, Tang Xiaoru said, her bright gaze fixed on Fang Yu. The classroom fell silent. The students looked at each other with wide eyes, utterly dumbfounded. What was going on? Tang Xiaoru wanted to sit next to the nearly invisible Fang Yu, and not the class heartthrob, He Donglin. Excuse me, would you mind giving up this seat for me? Tang Xiaoru asked Lu Dong, her voice soft and melodic. As a die-hard nerd, Lu Dong had never been so close to such a stunning beauty. His face flushed deep red, his mouth opened, but no words came out. I don't want to be your deskmate. Before Liu Dong could respond, Fang Yu spoke up. Whoa, some of the boys couldn't hold back their gasps of shock. Tang Xiaoru asking to sit with Fang Yu was already enough to leave them stunned. But to their disbelief, Fang Yu actually refused. Did he even realize what he was rejecting? He was turning down the dream of every boy in the school. Damn it. If you don't want to, I do. Every boy in the class screamed internally. Tang Xiaoru didn't seem bothered by Fang Yu's rejection. She simply turned her gaze to Huang Hai, the homeroom teacher. Feeling the weight of Tang Xiaoru's gaze, Huang Hai stiffened. Given her family's status, even the school principal would tread carefully around her. A small request like this was something Huang Hai couldn't deny. Huang Hai turned to Fang Yu and said sternly, Fang Yu, show some respect. Tang Xiaoru has just joined our class, and you can't speak to her like that. You and Lu Dong have been whispering during class for ages. I've been wanting to separate you two for a while now. Tang Xiaoru will sit with you, and Lu Dong will move to the back of the second row to sit alone. Move now. With the teacher's order, Fang Yu had no choice but to comply. A few minutes later, Tang Xiaoru successfully became Fang Yu's new deskmate, while Lu Dong was left to sit alone in the farthest corner of the classroom. Tang Xiaoru is a top student from the honors class, Huang Hai added with a fawning tone. You should all learn from her. To Fang Yu, having Tang Xiaoru as his deskmate was nothing short of a disaster. He had spent the past 2 years blending into the background of this high school, to the point where most of his classmates couldn't even remember his name. But all of that was ruined by Tang Xiaoru. Even now, though class was in session, Fang Yu could feel countless eyes locked on him. Fang Yu rubbed his temples and sighed heavily. After class, under the watchful eyes of their classmates, Fang Yu and Tang Xiaoru left the room, one after the other, heading to the rooftop of the teaching building. I know why you've come to find me, but let me be clear. I can't help you, Fang Yu said bluntly. Tang Xiaoru bit her lip and replied, You're the apprentice of the medicine god. You must be able to save my grandfather. I've told you before, I'm not Shia Shu's apprentice. I was his friend, Fang Yu said, shaking his head. Stop lying to me. You took one look at my grandfather and diagnosed his terminal lung cancer, even pinpointing that he has less than 3 months to live. Who else but the medicine god's apprentice could do that? Tang Xiaoru said firmly. Fang Yu regretted his earlier slip of the tongue. So what if I could tell? That doesn't mean anything. Late-stage cancer. Who in the world can cure it? Fang Yu raised an eyebrow, his tone indifferent. I'm not asking you to cure him completely. I just hope you can extend my grandfather's life. Give him a few more years. Please, we're out of options, Tang Xiaoru said, her beautiful eyes reddened with tears, and her voice trembling. Over the past year, the Temp family had spent an astronomical amount of money, consulting renowned specialists from both domestic and international medical fields. All of them came to the same conclusion. Tang Xiaoru's grandfather's illness was beyond treatment. Afterward, they had gone through endless effort to locate the medicine god Xia Shu's residence, only to find out that he had already passed away. Now, standing in the medicine god's former home, Fang Yu, who could diagnose her grandfather's terminal lung cancer at a glance, was their final hope. Tang Xiaoru, a beauty of her caliber, on the verge of tears with such a pitiful expression, was enough to melt the heart of any normal man. But Fang Yu was far from a normal man. He was a near-immortal monster who had lived for nearly 5,000 years. Sorry, I can't do it either, Fang Yu replied. There were too many people in this world suffering misfortune. Fang Yu couldn't save them all, nor did he feel obligated to. Fang Yu only wanted to live a quiet life, hoping for the day he could finally break through the key refining stage. He wasn't a hero, and had no desire to become one. No matter how much you ask for, as compensation, we can afford it. Tang Xiaoru pleaded. I really can't help you, and I don't need money, Fang Yu said indifferently, turning to leave. After a few steps, he turned back and added, by the way, I'd like you to move to another seat. I don't want to sit next to you. I really hate trouble. Watching Fang Yu walk away without looking back, Tang Xiaoru's face turned pale with anger. As the eldest daughter of the Tang family, she had never stooped so low to beg anyone, even shedding tears in the process. But this Fang Yu was completely unmoved, brushing her off with a calm, detached attitude. Hate trouble? Well, I'll make sure to give you plenty of trouble, Tang Xiaoru muttered through gritted teeth. The two returned to the classroom, and for the next few lessons, there was no interaction between them. At the end of the morning's last class, Fang Yu remained, slouched over his desk, asleep, while Tang Xiaoru packed up her books and poked his shoulder with her delicate finger. Fang Yu, let's go have lunch together, Tang Xiaoru said sweetly. Fang Yu raised his head and saw her radiant smile, immediately sensing trouble. Never mind, you must be exhausted from last night. Keep sleeping. I'll bring you lunch later. Be good and wait here, Tang Xiaoru said mischievously, a sly glint flashing in her eyes as she walked out of the classroom. Her words sent the entire classroom into chaos. The implications of what she had just said were massive. What did she mean by exhausted from last night? And the shy, blushing expression on her face while saying it. Could it be that Tang Xiaoru and Fang Yu had? The male students glared at Fang Yu with envy and hatred, their imaginations running wild. Meanwhile, Fang Yu remained unfazed. It was clear to him that Tang Xiaoru was deliberately stirring up trouble for him. For someone like Tang Xiaoru to sully her own reputation, just to create misunderstandings, she certainly wasn't holding back. However, Fang Yu couldn't care less. Hating trouble didn't mean he was afraid of it. Becoming infamous in school, and being envied by a bunch of immature kids, what was that compared to the hardships he'd endured? For someone who had cultivated for nearly 5,000 years, if he couldn't handle the antics of a teenage girl, he might as well end his life then and there. Fang Yu stood up, intending to ask Lu Dong to join him for lunch, but he was stopped. Hey Fang Yu, can I talk to you about something? Let's step out into the hallway, said he Dunglin, the boy sitting in front of him.